Andrew, what do you think is your passion? Like, what drives you to do this kind of work?
I think passion is probably the most important thing in any endeavor that you have in your life. And my passion is trying to help people. There's nothing more satisfying than after you've done a presentation and somebody comes up to you and they go, "You've changed my life." And the incredible thing is I don't change anybody's life. I just offer some invitations, some ideas to people. And it's kind of, if you think of a football match, it's almost like I pass the ball. I give them the ball. They take the ball and they run with the ball and they score the touchdown. But I just give them some invitations, some ideas. And I like to always think that a pair of shoes that fits me, and they fit me like a glove. If I give you my shoes, you put them on, and you probably or possibly going to get blisters from those same shoes. So not every idea, not every concept that I try to share with my audiences is going to be a perfect fit for everybody. But as long as I feel that some of the stuff that I offer people is of service to them, and I think the most inspiring, wonderful thing to receive is the feedback after a presentation. When someone comes up to you and they go, "You've opened my eyes. You've allowed me to see things differently." And I think that for me is what makes me feel the most passionate and driven to do these presentations.
Fantastic. What's the one thing that you would say if you were given a 5-minute slot? What's the one thing you'd want to tell people, tell the world out there?
That life is simply overcomplicated. We tend to be looking for the difficult, complicated solution to things in life. But I find that if it's complicated, more often than not, it's actually wrong. And when it's simple, we sometimes think, no, it can't be that simple. The solution can't be that easy. And so we complicate things and we look for complicated solutions when the real, true, simple solution is staring us in the face. And so what I'd put an appeal out to people is I'd say, look for the simple solution. Because although it's simple, it's probably the right solution. Life for me is like a join-the-dots kiddies puzzle. If you complicate it and you try and draw lines that don't work, you're not going to have a successful, or you're not going to finish the puzzle successfully. But if you just follow the lines, you follow the numbers, anybody can complete that puzzle. And life's exactly the same. As long as you understand that you need to do things, you can't just sit there and visualize yourself sitting behind the wheel of a Ferrari and wake up the next morning and walk outside and there's your Ferrari. You need to get off your butt. As John Ashraf says, he calls it the law of Goya. He calls it get off your arse. And until you get off your arse and start to take action, persistent, consistent action every single day, nothing's going to happen in your life. Something astounding happens when you daydream. Nothing. So if you want to achieve success in your life, what you need to do is you need to find out, what is my join-the-dots puzzle? What is the sequence of things that I need to do consistently in my life to deliver my success? And when you do that every single day, you're guaranteed to be successful.
Wow. Andrew, there are a lot of people who deal in what we call the business of success coaching, life coaching out there. What do you think you bring to the experience? What's your particular strength, or what have people said to you you've managed to help them achieve, do, or realize?
For me, most people give the invitation, impart the knowledge, but then it gets down to the fundamental flaw where people fall short. And knowledge is not strength. Knowledge is merely paper. And until you take that knowledge and begin bringing it into your life and applying it and making it something that works for you, becoming the knowledge, nothing is going to happen for you. So what you need to do is you need to say, how do I take that knowledge? How do I bring it into my life? How do I personalize that knowledge and make it useful to me? And when you can do that, then success becomes easy. what you need to keep in mind is everybody talks about not having enough time. And everybody talks about, let me get a time, energy, or at least a time management system. And the problem I have with that is so many people push time management systems onto people. And all you become effective with is you become effective at managing the wrong stuff better. And so what I prefer to call it is, and that's my speciality, is I call it a time, energy, and activity management system, where we take the available time, but before we efficiently allocate things to the available time, we take one step back and we say, what are we going to put into the plan? Because what you put into your plan is what you get out of your plan. So if you create the right stuff, you build the right action lists, and then you build a time management system. So you have the right activities, because that's the first most important, crucial thing you need to do, is have the right activities. When you have those right activities, and then you use your time as efficiently and effectively as possible to facilitate those activities, you have to succeed. So that for me would be the one thing that I would say is my forte, is to allow people to build those actions and then apply them into a very effective time management system.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew. Could you just leave us with a picture or a vision, an idea of your future, of the future of the people who you're taking along this journey of success? What do you see happening for us?
I think the biggest challenge with most people is they don't have a clear understanding of what success really means. Most people look around them and they see Richard Branson, and they see someone who's made a lot of money, and they think that's what success is all about. And I think what you need to do is stop aiming for money. Let money be the sideline of what you're actually trying to achieve. Because for me, success is not about money. Listen, I've tried it both ways. I grew up exceptionally poor, and we kind of shared meals with the neighbors, and got hand-me-down shoes and clothing from my brothers and sisters. And I've also had some medium, moderate success in my life. I've tried it both ways. Believe me, it's easier to suffer in comfort. But we look at actresses like Lindsay Lohan, and everybody would look at her life and they'd think, wow, that is success. Yet she's involved in drugs. She goes from one court case to the next court case. She's living a completely disrupted life. And we look at Elvis Presley. He killed himself with drugs. They were successful, weren't they? If we look at our definition of success, they had money, they had fame, they had fortune. What else did they need? And that's what I'm trying to tell you what you need in your life. You need to define what success means to you. Not to your mother or your father or your brother or society as a whole. You need to define what success means to you. Because ultimately success is about the person you become. Not about the money or the fame or the wealth that you accrue, but it's about what you become. And that for me is the measure of success. And you can't get there unless you know what there is. So before you even start, before you take the first step, know what success means to you. Define it. And then when you get there, you'll know you're there. The astounding thing is that if success was just about money, 80% of all the people who win the lottery in the United States squander it, lose it, and are sequestrated within 5 years of winning those prizes. Now understand, in the United States, those prizes are sometimes as big as $80 million, $200 million. And yet within 5 years they're bankrupt. Why? Because they didn't achieve what success meant to them. They thought they'd achieved success, but what had they actually done? They'd moved themselves out of homeostasis. They'd moved themselves out of their comfort zone into a new area where they weren't comfortable. So what did they do? They lost the money. They squandered the money. They moved themselves right back to where they're most comfortable. And so if you don't know what success means to you, or you're aiming for success that you think you want, you're never going to have that fire. You're never going to have that inspiration, that in spirit that's going to come from inside you. that is going to drive you to your success. You're going to be looking at the promise, and it's not really what you want. So are you going to be prepared to pay the price to get you there? Don't think so. But when you identify the promise, the success that you know is yours, that's unique to you, and it's what you're aiming for, would you be prepared to pay any price to get there? I think so.
Andrew, 15 seconds into the camera for the people who are going to be seeing you very soon in America. What can they expect?
I think what they can expect is an African experience. We kind of get so involved, and we look over at America and we think these guys have got it together. They've got human development down pat, and let's learn from them. And I've been looking and I've been researching lately, and I've seen a lot of African fables and African stories, and it's incredible how many of these stories have an incredible message to deliver. They're very simplistic in the way they're constructed, but they have a very powerful message. And if we prepare to look and accept that the rest of the world has a contribution to make, and not only now, but for many centuries, they've been involved in inspiring people and been involved in building communities, successful communities, and accepting that those communities also have a contribution to make, and opening our eyes. Because as John Ashraf says, when you look at somebody else, learn from those people, because if you open yourself up to those people, what you realize is he may be the best at doing one specific thing, and if I'm prepared to look and learn and listen to what that person has to say, I get to experience his entire life's experience. I get to learn from his entire life's experience. And that's why I say, open yourself, look to Africa. Africa's got something to offer. Learn from us. Thanks.